All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is still the 4th of June, 2019. I'm Roy Potter. Welcome to an impromptu of the Potter Expositor. I thought I was done today, at least doing any kind of updates. Hello as you come in. But this is so serious because it goes along with everything else that I've been saying about the IC, about the FBI, about the Department of Justice, and about the general sickness of our government that I just had to cover it today. And I don't plan on taking a lot of time because I'm going to refer you to Dan Bongino's episode 994 that he put out today. Again, Dan Bongino, episode 994, titled, "This Should Have Been All Over the News Yesterday." Wow. You know, I'll put that link in the description box below after this uploads and gets processed and all of that. It'll be, probably 10, 15, 20 minutes after the video is done today, after the live stream is done before I can do that. But you just got to hear this. Hello, everybody. I've been saying for how long that the IC is our most dangerous domestic enemy. You know how long I've talked about corruption within the FBI, which would also include the DOJ. So the DOJ and the FBI. I was there and saw what they did at Bundy Ranch. I know what they did in Oregon. I know what they did at Red River. I know how they handled the Waco situation. I know how they handled personal situations that I was in, both professionally and personally. I saw how they operated in the Las Vegas massacre, which we still don't have answers to. How the FBI has actually been involved in helping Al Qaeda, ISIS operatives, etc., come into this nation and do their handiwork, so to speak. We also know about the fact that George Bush's administration told FBI agents that if they revealed information on the Al Qaeda, ISIS, well, it wasn't ISIS at that time, but Al Qaeda operatives in this country, that was a national security issue, and they were not to investigate it anymore. So again, the central government has a problem. Not all FBI agents are bad, but they're certainly not all good either. And in the last two decades, it's gotten even worse. But what I just heard yesterday, I heard about the situation. I saw it on the feed that a person connected to the Trump campaign, is how it was worded, by the name of Nader, had been found with child pornography as he entered the country at an airport. Well, I saw that and I thought, oh, great. I didn't have time to look at it or investigate it to any great degree. But I have to tell you that Dan Bongino in this episode hits the nail on the head. Let me tell you what this is. So the story is that this guy Nader was an informant for the Mueller Weismann team against Trump, doing the investigation against Trump. And that they sealed information about him being an alleged, because he hasn't been adjudicated yet, he was caught with child pornography. Okay? Well, they sealed that because they wanted to keep using him as an informant on the Trump team. Listen to this. The news media outlets today are saying that they found out that he was this child pornographer just today, just in the last few days or weeks. No, he did it again is what happened. He was caught with it again after he'd already been caught with it a year ago, and those proceedings sealed so that the Mueller team could use him as an informant against the Russians. Dan Bongino is out of his mind over this, and rightly so. And I can't even convey to you the disgust and the emotion and the sheer terror that Bongino puts across in his presentation, and you have to see it. It's about an hour long. it's in the first 30 minutes, 35 minutes that you need to see it. He also covers that Manafort is being moved from a federal prison to Rikers, which is totally wrong. That is vengeance. It is not punishment. They are putting him, Manafort, in the worst prison in New York for a white collar mortgage crime. Anyway, he goes on and he talks about some other things. But this deal with the child pornographer Nader is absolutely mind-boggling what our DOJ and FBI are willing to do to people. And they are connected, as Bongino shows, to leftist Marxists that are trying to destroy our republic and doing a damn good job of it. As a matter of fact, Bongino says the republic is finished. That's how serious he looks at this. He blesses Donald Trump for trying to fix it. But if this keeps on, if we don't take a sword to this and cut the heads off of this thing, this hydra, it'll destroy us. As a matter of fact, Bongino says the republic is dead right now. With the DOJ and the FBI, it was, the whole Mueller report, the news media is using to say, oh, we need to impeach. And of course, the Democrats, particularly leftist Marxist Democrats, are saying to impeach. We heard Ocasio-Cortez call for that again today. And they're using the Mueller report, which is full of innuendo, hearsay, falsehood, lies, subversion, insurrection. And I'm upset. I saw Bongino. He very rarely gets him. I mean, every once in a while, a little animated. But today he was visually and audibly upset. I think if Mueller and Weismann and this attorney, and I forget her name, they say there was no not him, but the news is saying there's no connection between this Nader guy and the White House, the Obama White House, when indeed it was, because his attorney was the White House attorney for Obama. So, rightly, as I've been saying, Dan Bongino says the republic is dead. If we don't get this turned around, we will never, ever, ever get it back. We cannot stand for this. So I won't make this a long broadcast, but I could not allow this information because I've said all along how corrupt these people are in our law enforcement community, our federal, in particular, law enforcement community. And that includes the DOJ attorneys, the U.S. attorneys, and the FBI. And it just keeps getting worse. Can you believe that they would seal information on an alleged child pornographer they caught with the child pornography, seal it a year ago so that they could keep using him as an informant in investigating the Trump campaign on a bogus charge of collusion, really Russian conspiracy? And I'm like Dan Bongino. I'm saying, damn you leftist Marxists for what you're doing. And all of you Democrats or even rhinos that go along with the crap that's coming down out of the Mueller and Weismann reports and everything that they've done, everything that has been done by Sessions, by Rosenstein, by Mueller, by Comey, by Wray, by Clinton, all of it. And you all want to point fingers. You know who I'm talking about, not your listeners, right? Not you folks. I'm just ticked because like Bongino says, these people, these leftist Marxists are the scum at the bottom of a septic tank. He does a real good job on putting them down, and they deserve it. And this is what we're facing. We have to cut this cancer out, and if it takes the military to do it, Trump, you got to do it. You can't let this go any further. If Bongino says the republic is dead, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's all I got for you. I had to make an upload on it just so everybody would know I'm aware of this. Again, I saw the story yesterday. I didn't quite get the full impact of what was going on because I was doing other things. And then Dan brings it out this morning. Good on Dan Bongino. Dan, good good prior law enforcement officer, good guy who can see inside these things. Man, I'm happy for people like him. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, despite what Sean Hannity says, we don't have people like Dan Bongino in every position in government. As a matter of fact, I would bet that in our federal law enforcement, in our DOJ, we're down to probably 25 to 30% of the people in those agencies that would be anything like Dan Bongino. And I'm being generous. So there we go. Pass this along. I will get that link to the box as soon as I can. Thanks, Roosevelt. I see you in there. I appreciate all you folks coming. And again, I'll have the link to Dan Bongino's episode 994 in the description box below in probably about 20 minutes. Again, it's called episode 994. This should have been all over the news yesterday. You really only have to listen to about the first 30 minutes, not that. And you'll hear him say about the 25-minute mark, our republic is dead. That's how serious he took that. And he's not being morbid. He's actually being honest. We have criminals in our government that have taken the oath of office to subvert us, and we let them get away with it. Barr needs to absolutely go to war, and it might take war to fix this thing. God help us. That's how bad this is. Before I close up, I don't know if I'm going to do a video on it or not. My son contacted me and reminded me about Psalms 82. And you can go read it. It talks about, remember this morning I was talking about these people have no conscience anymore, and the leftist Marxists. They're total demons, Satanists, even in their thoughts. And there's no more bridging a gulf to make any kind of negotiations with them. It's all over with. Well, then my son said, well, look at Psalms 82, and it describes that. And then it talks about the people that are trying to do the right thing. And that's where it comes from, both in Psalms 82, and then Jesus quotes it in John 10:34, that ye are gods unto whom the word of God comes. And I just want to read a little thing from Psalms 82, and I'll probably do more on this. It has to do with the war in heaven too. Remember I said we're in the war in heaven now. We're seeing what happened in the spirit world today. We are witnessing it in the physical world now, what happened in the spiritual world before we came here. And it's being repeated. We can see what's going on. Okay? And there's one side that says they're going to force us to do good, just like the AI God is doing, and the social media giants, which Trump is just now starting to go after. Mankind worships the workmanship of his own hands. At least those guys do. And it's a God that will force you to do what's right. Force you to do it. In other words, their interpretation of what's right and wrong. So there was that element, about a third of heaven that did that got behind the character that they say is Satan in there. There's a little problem with that. But, okay, got behind Satan and pushed this. A third of heaven went with him. And that's what we're seeing here. And then you have those who stand up against it. And those are the ones that God, both in Psalms and Jesus says in John 10:34, this, okay? Psalms 82, I'll just read it real quick. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among the gods. I know a lot of Christians don't get this. How long will ye judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Selah. Defend the poor and the fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. They don't do that. They inflict more on them. They go after the poor people and they let these people like Clinton escape. Deliver the poor and the needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand, that they walk on in darkness. What did I say this morning about these people? They have no conscience. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. I have said, this is God speaking, I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. That right there, Jesus quotes that in John 10:34. I'll go ahead and read it. The Jews answered him, saying, for a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy. Who's really blaspheming? And because that thou being a man makest thyself God, and Jesus answered them, is it not written in your law, I said ye are gods? He's quoting Psalms 82. If he, God, called them gods unto whom the word of God came, and the scripture cannot be broken, then he says, why are you attacking me for saying I'm the Son of God? Look, the war in heaven's happening now. There is a spirit of Christ, the spirit of prophecy. The spirit of the perfect law of liberty is usually what I call it, because people don't, they want this cult of personality. There is a spirit of the perfect law of liberty that is in many of us. Some of us, it lies dormant. Sometimes we don't do anything with it. A lot of us just sit and watch what's happened, and then yet you get people like Jim Jordan, Congressman Jordan, and Alex Jones, and Michael Savage, and Dan Bongino, who get into the breach, and actually they don't even realize they're preaching, but that's what they're doing, because they're telling the truth. And then you have the devil, you have the Satanists who are out there saying just the opposite. People like Clinton, people like Mueller, people like Comey, people like Ray, who are saying, no, we're going to tell you what's right and wrong, and we're going to force you to do it just the way we say. I'm telling you, this gulf is widening by the day. We're seeing manifest in the Spirit in a way that we probably didn't think it would. This fight between the right to the perfect law of liberty, which is God's plan for you, and the plan of the devil, which is to force you to do what he says is right, and in the end, destroy you. The leftist Marxists are not just misguided people. They have chosen evil. And we can't allow it anymore. Trump needs to act. He needs to find out who he can trust in the military. And he needs to go after this thing. Is it going to get resolved on its own? I was left this morning after I listened to Dan Bongino. And again, he appreciates Trump for what he's trying to do. But he said the Republic's dead, ladies and gentlemen. Gird your loins. Do what Kurt Schlichter says. God bless you. All right, sorry I've taken longer than I wanted to. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for coming. Pass this around. Like I said, I'll have the link up to Dan Bongino's show in about 20 minutes after the live stream here.